This is a no stress meeting for everybody, so hopefully it's your easiest, best meeting of your Friday. I'm Megan Ho. I'm the director of multicultural media working under Charlotte Lanier, Leela Coffey, who I'm sure you all know. Yeah. I have been on the team since February, but I've been at P&G for 19 years now. Wow. Second time in multicultural, so kind of a boomerang, but it's been a good 10 years. And very excited to showcase you all to our brands on Monday. I was thinking we could do a quick round robin, and then I will take everybody through the theme for Monday, our logistics on parking and where you should enter and Wi-Fi and things of that nature. Walk you through the agenda and your tables and some of the intentionality we've put in some of the structure. And then any questions or concerns anybody has, I'm here to be of service to you. So if you guys want to do a quick set of introductions, that would be amazing.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Yes, I am Shamika. I am your point of contact salesperson and guru for all things P&G. I've been working on the brand for several years now. We worked on the Bounty campaign last year for Mother's Day and also in subsequent roles prior to my coach. So we're super excited to come on out. I think this is like our third or fourth year in a row coming. So we're super excited. I'll be bringing in Blake and Sonia. So I'll kick it over to Blake, who can introduce himself. He's my manager.
I'm useless, guys, but Megan, appreciate all the support, the opportunity to come in and meet you and the rest of the team. Very excited. I know there's several groups here representing, so I'll turn it over to Sonia really quick and let everybody else speak.
Hi, everyone. Just Sonia Riojas, VP of Hispanic Strategy over at Remescla Media Group. So leading all things strategic partnerships, biz dev, and Hispanic strategy.
Yes, thank you. Thank you so much.
Awesome. I'm Erica. Claudia Granados with Televisa Univision. Hi, Meg. Looking forward to our meeting Monday. I think some of my other folks came into the other sessions.
Yes, I've met with somebody at 9:30. Okay. So, yep. Programmatically.
I'm Eric Arantia from ODK Media. I think this is going to be my third or fourth one of these. I have Tyler Schaefer, who's out of our New York office. And again, ODK Media, specializing in the AAPI segment within North America.
Awesome.
Hi, Megan. I'm Namita Escobar from the Times of India.
Awesome.
I personally won't be there on Monday, but I am taking this down on behalf of my team. Two of my colleagues will be there, and we are very excited to have P&G on board with us.
Yes.
Hi, everyone. Hi, Megan. Carrie Laverty from iHeart. I'm the VP of Strategic Partnerships Group. I will not be there Monday, but we have a full team that will be there with you. I think Nikki was on the call earlier today, so I'm looking forward to it. And I will pass it over to Danielle, our newest team member.
Hey, everybody. Nice to see you all. Nice to see you. Hey, Megan. My name is Danielle Brown. I am new to the iHeart team, but super excited. I will be there next week. Looking forward to seeing you all. I am VP of Strategic Partnerships along with Kerry at iHeart. And yes, like Kerry said, Nikki was on the call earlier, and our full team will be there. Well, some of our team will be there on Monday.
Great.
I guess.
All right. Who else? Manny.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. Monitor, make sure the ladies went first here. Manny Ruiz. I'm with Bria Media Ventures and Mini Vela, which produces dramatic shorts for the Hispanic market. I'm the Chief Content Officer, and this will be my fourth time around with P&G. So very looking forward to seeing you guys again on Monday. I'll be there with Alex Hernandez, our Chief Revenue Officer. So looking forward to seeing all of you.
Well, thank you all so much. And also wanted to note, since several of you have been here before, a couple of strategic changes we've made to the format. So in the past, the feedback I received as new to the team was that, hey, we used to spend a ton of time prepping all of these custom briefs, and we would put together custom proposals for specific brands. And sometimes we didn't even hear any feedback back, much less get a deal out of it. And I think the feedback was similar to the brand on the brand side of like, we would prep these big briefs and present all day long to all the suppliers, and it's almost overwhelming. Like, there's so many of them, I don't even know what to do with it. And sometimes like the proposals that were coming in weren't super actionable. They didn't feel like completely in sync with my brand. I would love more customization to meet with fewer people further along down the process. And so there's just a general feeling, I think, on both sides of like, these were too big And it was a lot of work, a very heavy lift, and that we weren't getting the actionability out of them that we wanted. So we've made a pivot as a company where we'll have fewer of these, and they will be a little more themed with fewer people coming and less pre-work. And so in setting up for Monday, we surveyed all of our internal category teams, people at the director level or higher who are working in media or in multicultural growth acceleration, or both, as well as you all, and a couple more suppliers who we strategically invited that we thought would be a good fit with our portfolio, and that we thought, everybody here has either done some work with part of P&G North America, and we'd like to see you expand into more brands. And so we want to give you the opportunity to showcase. Or maybe you're working with almost everybody already. Look at you, Claudia. But we know that you have new capabilities that haven't been fully adopted that we think would be really great for the brands. And so we want to have that opportunity for you to not only present, but also have some one-to-one contacts. And I'll tell you a little bit more about that as we go through the deck. So thank you again for making the time. So the theme of this summit will be winning with all and each in sports and entertainment media. And that is intentional. And so all of you have some type of either sports or entertainment content available within your media toolkits. In addition, when we say all and each, the P&G language for that is, if you think about Remescal, you're on the phone. When you partner with NFL, it's huge. It reaches everyone, but it also has specific components for our each groups. So if I think about each, it's usually Black, Hispanic, Asian, or LGBTQ plus, or people with disabilities. And so you'll see that showing up in our content. And that's why each of you have been asked to come. So deliver on your typical media toolkit in your presentations, but also if you can give a head nod towards this idea of sports and entertainment, whether that means big cultural tent poles. What we've seen as a trend, and all of you are very familiar, is that what are people still getting live screen eyeballs on? It's sports and it's big live events. And as a company, Mark Pritchard has kind of declared that in the space of multicultural, two of our big strategies are going to continue to be sports and entertainment. And in the same way that, we don't want to show up to a community without ever normally being there and then just show up at a big event. We want to have a constant omnipresence. As I think about the lead up to Summer of Soccer or the lead up to the LA Olympics, we want to have been there along the journey. We don't want to just show up out of the blue. We want to have a reasonable presence. And so that's why we're asking our partners to help us on that path now. Okay, so that's kind of the why. Logistics. This one's important. I think most of you will be taking Ubers, not parking, but I want to make sure that you all come in through the south building entrance. So Mason Business Center is a massive set of buildings that P&G owns in one of our northern suburbs. And we have kind of an entertaining ideation and innovation space that's called the Gym, which I've rented out for this occasion. And you'll want to make sure that the Uber drops you off in the entrance to the south building, because when you first pull up out of the driveway, so there looks like this place that you should go in for sure. It's like the main entrance to all of P&G, and that is not where we want to go. If you get there, you'll have a long maze to walk through. But if you come to the south building, there is an entrance that's about 100 meters from where we'll be. So we all want to come to the south building entrance when you enter, and we have prearranged for security badges for everybody, but you will need to present ID. And there is breakfast beginning as early as 8 o'clock. I don't think most brand folks will show up before 9. But we will have all you can eat breakfast until 10 o'clock. A follow-up, thanks to one of your counterparts in the morning session, we are also prearranging all the guest Wi-Fi. So you should be receiving a guest Wi-Fi set of credentials today with Nicole James as a sponsor. So if anybody on your team doesn't get that access, please reach out to Nicole, and you can copy me, and we'll make sure that your team does get it. But we're trying to make sure that all of those go out today, so there's nothing to worry about on Monday. Agenda-wise, so call it 9 to 10. We'll have breakfast and networking opportunities. The show will begin at 10, where we'll do opening remarks. So Charlotte will start the day, and then I will take the team through state of the business. We will have about 45 people from all of our brands except for Shave Care in the room represented. And we'll be taking them through where are we from a share gap standpoint versus other categories. How are we doing on all of our multicultural groups? How are we doing on our aspiration to win with at least 3 of the multi-groups for every brand? How are we doing on reach with multicultural media, as well as a little bit of an update on our sports strategy. So then we will turn it over to Kara, and the intention of the Kara Hour is so that you don't have to do so much of the why you should partner with these types of media. You know, a lot of that should be set up for you, so then you can talk about your unique points of difference and how you can work with our brands. So the key things that Kara will be hitting off on for everybody are ratings, trends, and passion points for the multicultural consumer, an update on viewing habits, a deep section on sports fandom and how that works for African Americans, Hispanics, and Asians, and what they're seeing from both a view time, a watch time, and passion meters of like which sports to interact with, as well as guidance on how you to interact with cultural tentpoles. So regardless of what company you're partnering with, you know, how do you really bring those to life on the low budget, mid budget, and high budget way? And how can you surround big cultural tentpoles, as well as key definitions on like, what are cultural tentpoles? So they will be setting you all up. There will also be some head nods of like examples from your different agencies while they go through their deck of, you know, for instance, a cultural tentpole might look like Latin Grammys, etc. Then we will have a 1-hour session where none of you should be in the room because this is our principle, is whenever an agency is presenting, we'll have you guys go out to the same area where we had breakfast. So the way this facility is set up is I've got 4 rooms reserved, as well as open access to an all-you-can-eat snack area. So it's kind of a cafe. There's a bunch of booths. There's a bunch of tables. There's an ice cream cooler. There's, snack sections, beverages, all the things you want. And you'll have free access to kind of wander that area. So you can be out there. If you snag somebody who's supposed to be in the presentations, but they really want to come talk to you, fine, to have those types of informal P&G connects. Also, I've got 2 more private hall rooms reserved where you could also go during this space if you need to make calls that are more confidential. They're the Loft A and Loft B. So from 11:25 to 12:25, AMG will be presenting some myth busting about the Weather Channel and how P&G can use that with multicultural. Then we'll have lunch, and all of the brands and all of you will be having lunch from 12:30 to 1:15. Then we'll come into our agency presentations, and I'm going to show you a detailed breakout of this on the next slide, or in 2 slides. We have 2 rooms that are running concurrently, but you'll all have 30 minutes to present your agency content, hopefully focused on new innovations and approaches. And I am looking to have all of your decks by 4 o'clock today so that I can just be familiar and ready. If you need to make last minute adaptations, we have some free time in the morning on Monday before we kick off from 9 to 10. And then we'll be doing the Speed Connect. So let me walk you through the details on that. I kind of already covered this, but the objectives for the day is we just want all of our category leaders to be grounded in how all niche media works and the key strategies they should use to close their reach gaps and drive more effectiveness. We're counting on you guys to bring in new capabilities and approaches, or capabilities and approaches that you've used with a couple of brands somewhere in North America, but not with all of them, so that more can reapply. And even though we use Kara as a bit of a buffer sometimes, I wanted to give you all the opportunity to meet directly with the people who are making the decisions, as much as I influence them. And I will encourage them, like, if you're making any plans with any of these partners, bring your Kara folks along with it, bring our corporate team along, but wanted to give you the chance to meet and greet directly. I'm going to pause, and then I'm going to go into details on the presentations from just a logistics standpoint. But anything that makes sense? Any questions so far? Cool. So agency presentations, I've got 2 rooms. Studio 4 is where we'll have been for the whole morning. So that room seats about 100 people. We're going to have it set in clusters where there's you'll be standing in the front. You'll have a place to put your computer so you can see your slides and navigate the computer, but we'll also have the slides behind you. There's going to be 17 tables of 6, I believe. So people will be sitting forward towards you, but it's not exactly like University Stadium platform seating. And they will be able to have a little bit of interaction while we're transitioning between teams. And Studio 6 is similar. It's a little bit smaller room. It goes to about 60 people. And I'm expecting to have about 24 people in each room from the P&G side listening. And they represent the band 3s through band 5s of every category, either the media director, the multicultural director, or sometimes the brand director directly. So like the guy who runs Dawn Dish and makes all the decisions for the brand will be there, etc. So Studio 4 side, we have Remezcla, then Univision, then BIPOC Filter, then Bria Media, then iHeart. And then Studio 6, we have Urban One, ODK, Willow, Reach TV, and Univision. And again, if you're not presenting, we ask you to leave the room so that we can follow confidentiality and respect. And then 4 o'clock to 5 o'clock, we'll go through 3 rounds of Speed Connects. You guys don't have to move at all. The brand people have to come to you. And I have it set up quite intentionally. So I've got 4 rooms to work with. Studio 4 is that big room that it's 100 people. We'll have you split to the 4 corners. So I don't believe you'll be able to hear each other's conversation. But I also tried to make sure that people who, I didn't have people who are kind of targeting the same audience or who are competitors in the same room. So Studio 4 will be BIPOC Filter, Bria, iHeart, and ODK. And there will be like table tent poles with a sign that has your logo on it so that people can find you. And I've also already sent out, so last week we sent out this very detailed spreadsheet to all the brand folks that was like, you are assigned to be at specific places with specific people at specific times. Like, you're not going to show up. These people are flying in. Let me know. I will figure out someone else. But like, hopefully I've done everything I can to ensure attendance. I did get a few like, band 5s or 6s who were like, oh, let me send this band 2 in my place for that section because I'm not gonna be able to make it. So we've had a little bit more intentionality than we've had in past events. But still, knowing P&Gers are P&Gers, the way I've structured the 3 sessions, this is the first one, you probably have a single category. But the second 2, you'll have a combination of categories just in case people start like not showing up. And so the expectation for these connects is threefold. 1, if they have any questions from the presentation that you did earlier, let them get them out. 2, if you have any additional content that you didn't show, so like I know AMG is going to want to talk about things beyond the Weather Channel in their section, you can do like another 10 minutes on that. And then 3, if you want to start making plans together of, hey, here's what some next steps could be looking like. I was really intrigued by the fact that Remezcla owns the partnership with the NFL. I was really intrigued about something you shared on your new programmatic options on audio. I didn't know you had that, Univision. How can we do more together? You can start making those plans and then just encourage them to work it with you and their counterpart concurrently. So it's really just a chance for you to quickly, it's going to be short, it's going to feel rushed, but to quickly meet the brand teams and answer any quick clarifying questions and like make the relationship essentially. And so the first one is a little bit cleaner. The second 2, you start to have combinations at some points, unless there are people that I felt like very confident, like Sarah Angel's going to show up. She's not going to ditch. And the way these were made is that we surveyed the brands ahead of time and gave them the option to pick like their top media agencies that they would like to meet with. And we did the same with you. So sometimes it's both of you strongly asked for each other. Sometimes it's more one-sided, but we tried to fulfill everybody's wishes as much as I could. So that's kind of the intentionality of the day and how it will run. But I want to be a service to you guys. So if you have any questions, I think in the last meeting, people had a lot of questions about how, like, what do I mean by the theme of sports? And again, a little bit more preamble in this meeting, but that's because we know where the eyeballs are on sports and entertainment, and we want to be able to surround events. Not every brand's going to have the big budgets to be in the World Cup, so how do you help them on the path to and during? Not every brand is going to be activating live at a big major tentpole, but maybe they can help still be part of the conversation in the surrounds. And again, our most important intentionality is that for all of these multicultural groups, we want to have our brands start to show up as someone who's there consistently and is authentic and a true partner in the space, not someone who shows up and it feels inauthentic, whether that's sports or culture. So any other questions?
Actually, so I'm sorry, I have a question. So are we going to have, so we'll be presenting in front of the group, clearly plug our laptops in, or you guys can be running anything, and we will have access to internet to show any type of live examples?
Yes. So
Okay.
I did confirm with the team over at the gym that like I will have video. We will need people to run. You should be able to plug everything in off of your laptop. I am going to take all of the decks that come through today and make sure I have them saved on my computer in order, just in case anything isn't working logistically. We have a backup plan. And then we do. One of the nice things about this particular facility that we've rented out, like you pay by person, it's a little more expensive than, even though it's internal. Like we have a concierge, we have a tech staff there, we have receptionists. So if things go wrong, we kind of have a little bit of backup. Same thing. I did mention this to other groups. Like if you forget your charger at the hotel and like, or like, oh shoot, like you can feel free to ask the concierge, or and I'll send this deck out to everyone as well. But the same woman who is helping with Wi-Fi is Nicole James. So she's the admin for our team. She can help you out if there's anything that, you know, we want everybody to be comfortable. I know it's a lot to ask of like you're presenting for half an hour and then another hour of connects and you're coming for the whole day. So we want to make sure that it's a good chance to meet us in person, but that you can also be productive for the rest of your priorities.
Megan, if I can ask a additional question, we're going to send you the presentation today before 4, but on Monday, would you you would have the chance to swap out what we gave you? You said.
Yeah, that's part of the reason I'm not starting till 10, is so that we can do any final edits. Yes.
How would we?
And I'm happy to have you present from your computers.
Okay. Okay.
I figured, so that's why I asked, even though I've given you 30-minute slots, if you can plan to present for about 25, and we can switch out computers. I just want to be overly cautious and have a backup set in case something goes wrong.
Got you. No one's going to get it then they're not going to see it until Monday.
Nope.
Okay.
So we're not sending anything out in advance, other than back in May 22nd, we sent out to all the brands, and maybe it was earlier than that. That's when I sent out stuff to you guys. I think like May 15th, I sent out to all the brands an initial survey. And with that, we had a top sheet deck that Kara had put together of who all your agencies are, a link to if you had attended the growth fronts at ANA, a link to your media kit that was presented there. So that they wanted to be more objective about their intentions on selecting which companies they wanted to meet with. They had the data available. I'm not sure that most of them did, but we did send out kind of like a one-sheeter and then a link to a more detailed media kit for all of your companies.
Awesome.
But they won't see any of your presentations until afterwards. And hopefully what you're bringing is like, you know, for ODK, like, you know, a lot of folks are already buying programmatic with you, but nobody's buying tent poles, and there's probably PMPs that you could do more with. And I don't want to have conversations on like, how come my pacing isn't there, or how do I optimize my CPM structures in these calls? Because most of the folks you're talking with are setting the strategy versus like running the hands-on keyboard day to day. But it is the right people to make the call of, hey, we need to invest more money into Asian, and like there's opportunities on these temples that I never thought about, or like I want to specifically ask for things in programmatic that I haven't seen there, of like I don't think I'm getting the right amount of this type of inventory, like I want more video, or I want etc. So like those conversations are great. I'm trying to think about who else, like a lot of things with NFL, some of those opportunities that they haven't partnered with before, etc. So hopefully that helps. And again, everybody, you know, the reason you're here is because you've had some type of good success with P&G in some space, and we just want to make it more expansive, or because of the type of capability you've delivered before, when you've got new stuff, mini Velas, we want to see how we can get some brands interested in mini Velas, Manny. Yeah.
Appreciate that. Thank you. You know what might be helpful also, because I'm used to going to Cincinnati downtown. Do you have any recommendations of restaurants and stuff? Because I'm actually going to get there actually extra early because of the flight situation for whatever reason. So if you have any recommendations of things to see right near there, that would be great. Just throwing that out there.
Yes, we can. So like, It is a little bit like suburbia up there, but we can send you some of the better, more custom restaurants. And then if you do want to make the trek downtown and then come back up, like downtown is quite a foodie, like Over the Rhine is quite a foodie city now. But yes, let me send out some close to Mason restaurant recommendations. And then I know Nicole included in the original emails like hotel recommendations as well. So we can do that. Anything else?
I think we're good.
Okay. Awesome. Sounds good. All right. Well, thank you everyone for making the time on this Friday after a holiday. See you
Thank
Monday.
you.
Thanks, Meg.
Bye, everyone. Have a
Thanks,
good
Meg.
weekend.
Appreciate all your
Thanks so
work.
much.
Mhm.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Thank you.